Hello, this is Canon Vickery, and today we're going to be doing Activity 7.1 in our Windows Server 3 class, CIS 241. In this activity, we're going to be exploring failover cluster management options. So for this activity, we're going to be using our three servers that we have created, server 1, 2, and 3, as well as working with the previous failover cluster that I have created in a previous activity. Now with this failover I created, I am having a few different issues with it, but it's with one of the disks and it's throwing me some errors. But we can still explore the different options that are available with failovers for ones that you've created. And so we're going to go ahead and go through them. So we're going to start off on our server 2, log in as administrator, which is where we created this failover cluster. And we'll go to our tools, failover cluster management. And then we'll come to our failover that we created in a previous activity. Right click it. And actually, just kidding, we just want to validate it, so we can just hit the validate cluster here. Or there's another option there. But go ahead and hit next. Run all tests. Both of these disks and hit next. And this process tends to take a little bit as it configures everything. Go ahead and hit next one more time. So I'm just going to pause the video while it does it, just so it doesn't take the entire video of us waiting for it to complete this test. Alright, well, just finished up the validation report. So as you see, like it successfully completes, and it is suitable for clustering, but there are some things that it points out to us for us to look at. My main issue is here, like in my storage. Something with one of the disks that I have configured in this cluster isn't working out right. And one other error, like to point out, is in my network. In this where I'm running this on virtual machines, there's only currently configured like one port for the network. And so if that was to go down, there is no backup for it. And so normally you would want multiple to give you, something to fail over on. But yeah, so that's this report. So we'll go ahead and we'll close out of this, and we'll go finish. So now, we come to, we're gonna shut down our cluster. So we'll go ahead and right click onto it, come to more actions, and then we'll shut down our cluster. We'll hit yes. And now to turn our cluster back on, what we can do is come to our PowerShell. We've got a different command that we can run here. Start -cluster. So now this will start our cluster back up. It'll start going through the process here. Yep, see it just started switching back up again. Now if we want to see all of our information about the cluster, we can do get cluster space, and then that line, space again, format list. Format list dash property space, and then a little star icon, and then enter. Now this displays all of our information about our cluster that we have created. So now if we look back in our I believe we're done in here on our failover cluster manager, we see that it is started up again. We see right now our current host servers are 412 server 3. And if we come down to our resources, if we click our name here, we see our current IP address, what it's set to. And if we click storage disk, we see our cluster disk 2 is displayed here. But yeah. And that disk is our, what it is, it's right now it's our witness disk. The next step in this activity that we're doing is to change the owner of the cluster core resources. And I'll show you how to do this, but it's not working correctly on my server. But if we wanted to move it from our server 3 to our server 2, you right click on your failover 1, and you go to more actions, and you go to move cluster resources, and we'll go ahead and select node. And if we wanted to, the only other option is our 412 server 2. So we can click on it and hit OK. But then, as I was saying, our current host server doesn't actually change because of some issue that I'm having in between the two of these. That would be one way to change it, but you can also come to your PowerShell, and we can do get dash cluster group, and then parentheses cluster group, close that off and hit enter. So we see our information there about our cluster. It's owned by server 3 right now. If we wanted to try and move it, move cluster group, parentheses, cluster group. It tries to, but it says the other cluster node isn't available for this operation. But normally if you do that, it would move it to, it would move that cluster group, and then you'd be able to see that it's the server owner would be different. The owner node would be server 2. But I'm going to try and figure out why it is it won't switch over, but I did want to get this recorded and done. But that is everything for the activity and how to do it. But yeah.